One of my preaching heroes is a man called Dr. W.E. Sangster. He was a Methodist preacher who spent most of his life ministering in London. He was born there. He was minister at Methodist Central Hall for many years, and during World War II, the Sangster family moved into the basement of Methodist Central Hall and there looked after so many who were homeless or just in need of shelter. When he was diagnosed later on in his life with progressive muscular atrophy, he resolved these 4 things. He said, "I will never complain, I will keep the home bright, I will count my blessings, and I will try to turn it to gain." Over the next 2.5 years, he steadily became more and more paralysed. His arms and legs stopped moving. He became incapable of speaking. And then at the last, he was reduced to the point where he couldn't even write. His fingers stopped moving. Just about the last thing that he was able to write was on Easter Sunday morning, just before he died. And he said this: "How terrible to wake up on Easter Sunday and have no voice to shout, 'He is risen.' Far worse to have a voice and not want to shout." This year, this Easter, it is almost as if the church feels that it has lost its voice. Mind you, not that many people were listening to our shouting anyway. But we have not lost our voice. We must shout through our deeds and our love instead just now. But let's be sure that we do not lose our passion, our desire. Today, after all, Easter Sunday, is the day that changed everything. Death is defeated, love has conquered, hope rises once more. The women at the tomb are not, at least at first, evangelists. No one would hear them if they were to stand at a street corner and preach. They were, after all, women of their day, but they are witnesses. And as they insistently and persistently share what they have seen and heard, he is not there in the tomb, he is risen. Bit by bit, the world changes. God has given us the desire to cry out, "He is risen." And it will find a way out, this news. Don't despair. Don't fear. Don't worry. Christ is no longer in the tomb. He is risen. And if for now our shouting is a bit less religious and a bit more Christian, less about our church buildings and more about building the kingdom, less about condemnation and more about love, then good. That's the risen Christ speaking. Thank God that he is doing something new.